Hi, Joe here. Welcome to Minerva. Today we are going to take a look at a type of pleat which is called a knife pleat. You might have made knife pleats before, not even knowing what they were called. That's when all of your pleats go in the same direction, but they have the same job to do as a box pleat. They're creating volume or shape, or they're taking one piece of fabric to a smaller size so that it fits into another. To help you imagine what a knife pleat is like, just think of a Scottish kilt, all of those pleats all going in the same direction, making the top fitted and the bottom have a lot of volume and movement. You see it in the front of trousers, so you might get a pair of trousers that just has two knife pleats in it that go out to the hips, and they'll give you some tummy room or some hip room. Or you might also see it in casual dresses where you have it in a yoke here, or instead of having a gathered waist to bodice, you have very, very soft knife pleats. So they might go from the centre, so some might go in one direction and some might go in another. Today, rather than make a garment where I'm always trying to disguise my marking tool marks on the fabric, I've used a sample piece so that you can really clearly see the lines that you need to follow if you want to make a knife pleat. Today I'm wearing the DP Studio box pleat blouse, which are box pleats rather than knife pleats. This creates the volume for the bust. It's really unusual in that it has a pleat for the movement of the shoulder. The back is flat with a little yoke and buttons. But the main feature for the design lines are the pleating shapes, and that also creates the movement. I've made this in a cotton Swiss dot because it's a really nice light fabric, and with all fabrics that you choose for pleating, you need to think about, am I having a soft pleat or do I want a crisp pleat? So that will be determined by the fabric that you choose and how well it presses. If you're making knife pleats, that's normally because you want a really crisp pleat, but it might be that you just want something soft as a shaping device in a whole garment. Knife pleats all go in the same direction, so you'll get a sort of a fan shape. It's the sort of pleat you see in skirts, and sometimes you might see knife pleats going one way and then from the centre line of a top all going another way. So let's see how they work. You'll have a solid line on the fold, and you'll have a dotted line that you're taking the fold to, or sometimes you have a solid line for the fold and a dotted line where the crease will be. So you need to follow your pattern markings. There will also be arrows on the pattern showing you which direction the pleats need to go in. So we're going to crease the fabric along the solid line. On this particular pattern, it then asks you to fold back on the dotted line and pin this in place. The measurements I'm doing here, we're getting a 2 centimetre pleat, so this is 2 centimetres, and the underlap of the pleat is 1.5 centimetres. This creates this fold along the top. When that's pressed, it will look more like that one. You can get them where your fold line then goes to the dotted line and your creases will all meet exactly up at the end. So you won't have any sort of flat single layer of fabric. It will all be a double layer of fabric. When you've pinned them in place, let's do 2 at a time. It's a good idea before you press this fabric just to check that you haven't made an inaccuracy. So I've got one, this one is 2 centimetres, this one is a little bit over, so we can just roll that under a bit. Because once you've pressed them with some steam, you want that to be your final pleat rather than having to readjust them once you've put a press in. When you've pressed them, you're then going to tack them down. You can tack them near the edge if you've got a slippy fabric, or you can just tack it within the fold. And it's a good idea not just to sew across the end, because what happens sometimes then is these will kick out a little bit and you'll get a slight inaccuracy. And of course, if you're making 20 of these, if you get a little inaccuracy a couple of times, it will compound. So tack them a little bit down the length of the pleat so that all of that area stays accurate rather than just the top. When you've tacked your pleats down, you then need to give it a really good press and do your machine sew along the top. And if you've got a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance, you need your machine basting line to be within the seam allowance. Even when you've done this, I wouldn't recommend you take these out until you've got all of your construction together, because it really is just holding everything around this top area, and it's just stopping it from splitting out. So you can join your next piece on if it's a waistband or a bodice piece, or whatever the next piece is. And then when you've got your actual garment together, maybe you haven't sewn the side seams yet, then you can look at any other details that you need to do. You could take those out and you'll get knife pleats that kick out from your join of the previous construction, or you can top stitch or edge stitch through the pleats. You might get this if you want to have a smoother line around your hips. So if this is a skirt, you might not want these to be splitting out from your waistline. The design feature may be that these are sewn down a little bit to give you a really streamlined shape. If you do edge stitch this, you need to make sure that at the end you make a really clear end that you can pull the threads through, tie them off so that you don't get a bulky bit. Let's have a look at that. Okay, let's have a look at these stars of knife pleats that we've created. So you may just have a pressed knife pleat. You might have an edge stitched pleat. There's another pressed one. There's another pressed one. You might have a partial top stitch that holds all of the layers down, which creates a smoother silhouette. Or you might use that in combination, so you have the top stitch down and then you blend in the edge of the pleat being sewn down. Obviously you can just see here where my stitches have met, but if you're using a correctly coloured thread then you won't see that there. But all of these need to be tied off on the back, because you can't do too much forwards and back because it will be in a prominent place along the front of your skirt. And there are a few different ways of creating knife pleats. The key is to take a solid line to a dotted line in the direction the pattern suggests. I hope that's given you a few tips for creating knife pleats. If you're doing lots and lots and lots of them, then accuracy is key, because if you make a few mistakes then it starts to compound and you can't always change one without then changing the size of the next one. Unless we're making a kilt, we're not really going to be making that many. You will generally be making a few, and you can measure a few to check that they are all the same. If you fancy having a go at a pattern with knife pleats, I've got a little bit of pattern inspiration for you. So here are a few patterns that you could try. This is Birdo 6632, really nice. It's got a bit more detail on the back than on the front, which is a little bit unusual. I'm mixing this up with a Minerva maker as well. So if we first of all take a look at the back, you can see there isn't just one box pleat on the back. There's a couple of knife pleats going out from the centre, and it makes this really nice feature along the yoke, and it gives lots of room across the hips and the waist. On the front you have knife pleats as well. They're quite small, but they give a really nice shaping, and a bit like this top, they're part of the design line features of the front of the top. Fabrics for this would be maybe our linen and viscose mix, because you'll have the drape of the viscose, but you'll get that structure of the linen, and that fabric presses really well. Our cotton sateen would do the same, and you can also make a softer version in a viscose challis or in a crepe. If you're new to sewing, then you might need your hand holding a little bit with your first pleats, so you could try Simplicity 1887. This is quite a good pattern because it's got skirts and trousers and shorts, so it has a lot of longevity to it. And we also have a sew along for this, so Diane will take you through this pattern. She'll show you how to put the little knife pleats in the front, and that gives the front some shaping. The back has elastic in it, so they're really easy fitting trousers, and that's one of those patterns that you go back to as one of your wardrobe staples. If you fancy something as a bit of a challenge, then you could try the Now and Then Ritz dress. Now this pattern has knife pleats that are a real feature of the design. So they start at the shoulder, and then they make the shaping for the bust. So not only do they make the volume shaping for the bust, they also make the neckline shaping and detail. So you would need to be super accurate when you're making these, so that the fabric has equal room to move on both sides, and also when it's at its relaxed state, the pleats are all the same width. Here is an absolutely stunning example. It's got a really free-flowing waist on here. I think maybe the skirt is cut on the bias maybe, and it comes up to the front here, and those pleats just really elevate it to a really special occasion dress. If you'd like to find out anything more about those patterns, or see Minerva makers wearing them, different body shapes wearing them, people of different sewing abilities giving their little description, then do head over to Minerva, where you can check out our Minerva makers. You can become a Minerva maker too, so you can create an account, share your makes, and inspire the rest of the sewing community. We would love to see what you've been sewing up, what you've been choosing, and what patterns you've been pairing with which fabrics. Thank you very much for watching. Do come back for a few more of the box pleat tutorials. There's a box pleat one, an underlay pleat one, and a knife pleat one, and they'll all be here on our channel soon.